Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great. Last time we had the best RPGs of 2023, check it out if you missed it, and today we're gonna be looking at the best open world games of 2023. As usual, if you find this video helpful, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Now without further ado, let's take a look at the first game. Hogwarts Legacy already released on pretty much every platform. It's also coming to Switch later this year. Hopefully it won't look like the Mortal Kombat port. Then again, when you have a weak-ass console, you get PS2 looking games. Anyway, back to Hogwarts Legacy. You can make your own character here. I called mine Harry Potter.
I enjoyed that.
Well, I'm sure most people did it. So I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, but there are tons of side quests to do. You just have to walk around, talk to people, and you'll always have something interesting to do here. Speaking of interesting, the world is big, beautiful, and it's full of animated objects that make it feel more unique. You'll see ghosts in corridors, speaking sculptures, animated paintings, but if all this magic stuff isn't for you and you'd rather just kill a bunch of motherfuckers, then you should take a look at the second game instead. Assassin's Creed Mirage brings the series back to its roots. It takes place in 9th century Baghdad, or Baghdad in Arabic, and stealth is heavily encouraged here, cause Basim is a pussy-ass bitch who can only kill people when they least expect it. In all seriousness though, if you get spotted and find yourself in a 1v4, and it really starts to look like you're gonna get gangbanged, just get out of there, hide, and try again. Cause this isn't Valhalla and you're not a Viking who can take on a whole village. So what you should be doing here instead is looking around and eavesdropping on people's conversations to get some useful tips on how to approach your target. That being said, if you're wondering whether the AI is finally decent, it's not. So as long as you use stealth, the enemies won't react fast enough or even do the right thing to stop you. In terms of graphics, Mirage uses the same engine as Valhalla, so it looks good, but it's far from being jaw-dropping. Now let's take a look at the third game, which is even less jaw-dropping. If you played Breath of the Wild, then apart from the map you already have, on Tears of the Kingdom you'll also have the Sky Archipelagos and the underground depths. And even though it doesn't have that magic the first one had, since it's not completely new, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is still bigger and better. By the way, I'm sure most people already know about this, but hey, if you have a decent game on PC, you can play this and pretty much every Switch game. All I'm gonna say is, look into it.
If anyone asks, I had nothing to do with this, you got it?
So on Tears of the Kingdom, you can get as creative as you want. You have tools like Ultra Hand and Fuse, and they allow you to pick up objects, attach them to each other, and create useful tools, means of transportation, and weapons. And when exploring around, you'll probably come across these cute creatures that will ask you to help them reach their friends. So there are plenty of puzzles to solve inside and outside of shrines. Now let's move on from a Nintendo exclusive to a PlayStation exclusive, cause our fourth game is Spiderman 2, which is only coming to PS5. I mean, for now, it'll probably end up landing on PC in a few years. What I'm trying to say is, now that Spider-Man is a PS5 only game, you can see that the city is much more detailed and you can cross it even faster thanks to the addition of a wingsuit. Slingshots are also new, but the biggest addition compared to Spider-Man Miles Morales is that you can now also play as Venom, and you can switch between both characters at will, just like on GTA 5. Keep in mind the difficulty level was increased a little bit, so you really have to make full use of each character's abilities, or you'll get your ass kicked every fight. Now let me show you a much better open world game, and one of my favorite games of 2023 so far, Redfall, which came out a few months ago in a horrible state, but after the major updates it received, just kidding, they didn't even bother fixing it, so yeah, it still sucks dick. The real fifth game I wanted to show you is Starfield, and it's definitely a different type of open world since it's split into many areas, each locked behind a loading screen. It's not linear though, so it definitely counts as an open world game. No, but seriously, if you don't mind the fast travel based exploration, you'll love Starfield. So every time you land on a planet, you'll have 2 or 3 points of interest to discover. We're talking outposts, mines, and abandoned locations. You'll usually come across a bunch of space pirates that you'll have to fight, but sometimes you just find a notepad, or when you're flying your ship, you'll receive a transmission that'll initiate a side quest. You won't really find anything interesting if you land on a planet and keep on walking in a random direction, cause it's just empty. At least the cities are densely populated, with people who awkwardly look at you while walking around. Oh, and if you like Cyberpunk themed stuff, then you'll love Neon. It's easily my favorite city out of the 4 this game has to offer. Speaking of Cyberpunk, the next game on my list is Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. God damn, I'm so good at transitioning. I mean, transitioning from one game to another. And I just got cancelled. So I know Phantom Liberty shouldn't count as a full game since it's just an expansion, but now that update 2.0 is here, Cyberpunk basically just came out. Cause now it finally has a functional police system. Cops don't just spawn out of nowhere anymore. They're still dumb as fuck though. Shooting while driving has been added, the skill tree was revamped, and the Phantom Liberty expansion adds a new town and a bunch of story missions that are about as long as the ones from the main game, so that's pretty good. Anyway, if you're a rich motherfucker and you have a sick PC, you get to play Cyberpunk with all the ray trace settings maxed out, and those look real sweet. Now the last game on this list isn't out yet, but I feel like it could end up being great, cause Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is more than just a Far Cry reskin, even though it's hard to believe that Ubisoft can make anything that's not a clone of a game they or another studio already made. So Frontiers of Pandora will let you ride your dire horse when you're on the ground, or a banshee to fly around and even fight in the air. Plus you can play the game alone, obviously, or go through the whole campaign with a friend in online co-op. Based on the gameplay videos I've seen, the world is really beautiful, and this might actually be one of the best looking open world games yet. We'll see if I'm right or if Ubisoft will somehow find a way to fuck this up like they always do. And that's gonna be it for the best open world games of 2023. If you want the best ones ever and don't care if they're old, check out my top 10 open world games of all time by clicking the bubble that just showed up. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.
For the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh. Fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up. Play the game, bruh.